Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, March 30th. We've been talking at length about the potential for a severe weather outbreak centered on Friday night across the Mississippi Valley region. Looks like it'll be a little bit to the north and west of where there were unfortunately some deadly tornadoes late last week. Specifically, that was down in Mississippi and Alabama, this part of the nation, late last week. Now the focus is on maybe the middle part of the Mississippi Valley all the way up to the northern part. Of course, this entire area has to be on the lookout right in this region right here for the potential for severe weather. Again, we're talking about the Friday night time frame, probably late evening into the overnight hours. And all of this part of the nation should be on the lookout for the possibility of some strong, potentially damaging wind gusts associated with this powerful cold front that will be sliding from the west to the east and finally moving off the eastern seaboard by late in the day on Saturday or Saturday night. Well, let's go through some of the players on the field now using the operational run of the Canadian model from last night at 0Z. And once again, we have a storm system impacting California. It produced more snow for the higher elevations of the Sierra Nevada, rain in the low-lying coastal areas. That storm system sliding down the coast right now, some shower activity all the way down to Southern California today, Los Angeles, San Diego. They have their home openers for Major League Baseball today. There could be some shower activity and generally colder than normal conditions out in the western part of the nation. This will be a key player in the potential of a severe weather outbreak on Friday night. Let's move forward in time. That slides across the Rocky Mountain states over the next 24, 36 hours or so. And by the time we get to the middle of the day on Friday, it'll be centered over the middle part of the nation. And again, this is the area of concern right along the Mississippi Valley region, right along the Mississippi River, really from Arkansas all the way up to Iowa. Tomorrow evening, here we go. This upper level feature, the vorticity maxima over Nebraska, Iowa. And what this tends to do is produce strong upward motion right to the east here, putting this plus here right in the vicinity of where this kind of a location for the vorticity maxima will produce upward motion in the atmosphere. And that is an area of concern right along the Mississippi River, right in this region right here. Certainly this will be a key factor. It continues to move to the north and east, producing, by the way, some accumulating snow in the upper part of the Midwest. And then, as I mentioned a moment ago, we'll have to watch for the possibility of damaging wind gusts in this part of the nation later Friday night into the day, really through the day on Saturday, all the way to the eastern seaboard, again associated with a powerful surface cold front that will be moving from west to east Friday into Saturday night time frame. Here we go all the way into Saturday. And again, watch out for the potential of damaging wind gusts in the eastern third of the nation on Saturday, and certainly the Ohio Valley is included in that warning area as well for possible damaging wind gusts on Friday night and into Saturday. Then we go all the way out to Sunday morning, and here we go, the Sunday morning forecast map. That surface cold front finally clears coast, and there'll be a big difference in temperatures in the I-95 corridor region, for example, between Saturday and Sunday, 70 to 75 degrees ahead of the front. Places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City on Saturday afternoon, probably 20 degrees colder on Sunday with highs much closer to the 50 to 55 degree range on Sunday. There will certainly be a stiff northwest wind as well on Sunday following the passage of that strong cold front. Well, speaking of potential damaging wind gusts, let's take a look at the 850 millibar winds projected by the Canadian model for this upcoming event. Of course, not only do we have the potential for damaging wind gusts in the Mississippi Valley region, but certainly isolated tornadoes on the table for Friday night. This is the forecast map for tomorrow morning, Friday morning, for the 850 millibar winds. Whenever you have a strong low-level jet like the 850 millibar level, which is a few thousand feet off the surface, that raises the possibility of damaging wind gusts down at the surface level. And here we go into the day on Friday, strong low-level jet. But then notice by the time we get to late Friday night, that shifts to the east into the Ohio Valley with that advancing cold front in the Ohio Valley and the eastern part of the U.S. Even by Saturday morning, look at this, very strong low-level jet centered over the southeastern part of Virginia, the Delmarva Peninsula, and still some strong winds upstream, let's say, over the Ohio Valley, eastern Great Lakes. The point is, watch out for the possibility of damaging wind gusts, not only, of course, across the Mississippi Valley, but into the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, and all the way into the U.S. later Friday and through the day on Saturday. Let's go out a little farther in time. By the time we get to late Saturday night, that front clears the coast finally, and everything moves off the coast, but still be a stiff wind out of the northwest on the backside of that front in the northeastern quadrant of the nation during the day on Sunday. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast maps from the 0Z run of the Canadian model. By the way, it's opening day in the northeastern states, of course, similar to California. California will be colder than normal. Places like Oakland, San Diego, LA, the Dodgers have their home openers today. It will be below normal temperature-wise. And again, down in the southern part of the state, there'll be a possibility of some shower activity right here. Los Angeles, San Diego, all the way down into the northern part of the Baja region of California. And in the northeastern states, the Red Sox have their home opener. It will be colder than normal with a stiff northwest wind. New York City, the Yankees have their home opener. Even down in D.C., the Nationals have their home opener. All three of those northeastern states will have below normal temperatures and a pretty strong northwest wind, especially New York City and Boston, following the passage last night of a frontal system that caused some snow squall activity upstate PA, upstate New York. High pressure moving into the northeastern states. And again, that low pressure area now impacting California becomes a key player. It slides across the Rocky Mountain states. We get into the morning hours on Friday. This is 24 hours from now. And notice, we've talked about this at length, the combination of warm and humid air pumped up from the Gulf of Mexico flowing right into the Mississippi Valley. At the same time, you have this cold, dry air moving in on the backside of the front from the north and west. And this, of course, sets up a clash zone right over the Mississippi Valley region. Let's go out a little bit farther in time into the midday on Friday. Again, you have that warm, humid air coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. By the time we get to tomorrow evening, this is the time period of concern. Again, right in this region, right here, there can be severe weather, maybe some tornadoes as well. This is early Friday night, and then going into the overnight hours. Certainly, the threat continues into the overnight hours, maybe even increases a little bit right in this region right here. We're talking the middle Mississippi Valley, the Tennessee Valley region, even into the Ohio Valley. Watch out for isolated tornadoes, and certainly watch out for damaging wind gusts. Whether or not you get severe thunderstorm activity, still can get some damaging wind gusts, talking 50 to 60 miles per hour. Again, we mentioned in the cold sector of this storm system, by the way, a 988 millibar low by late tomorrow night. In that cold sector, accumulating snow up across Minnesota, northwestern Iowa, and that'll extend into the northern part of Wisconsin and upper Michigan overnight tomorrow night. That, again, is a key factor here. We've got this cold, dry air dropping from the north and west, and out ahead of that front, warm, humid air. It sets up that clash zone right in this part of the nation. And once you throw a little fuel on the fire by moving that vorticity maxima overhead and you increase that upward motion, that really sets off the severe weather outbreak. And this is what, unfortunately, is expected tomorrow night going into the overnight hours into Saturday morning. Here we go now on Saturday. Strong wind gusts. D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, out ahead of the frontal system. That will be a southwesterly flow of air out ahead of the front. Also pushing in very warm air for this time of the year. Again, 75 degrees on the table for Washington, D.C. on Saturday. Maybe changeable skies, some clouds, maybe some sun, windy conditions here. And then that surface cold front continues to advance. This is a midday on Saturday, and here is basic location of that front right at that time. Again, strong southwesterly winds ahead of the front, and immediately behind it there'll be powerful northwesterly winds. And again, any one of these areas, both ahead of and behind the front, can have damaging wind gusts. Maybe isolated thunderstorms as well on Saturday. Here we go by Saturday evening. That front moves all the way now right to the I-95 corridor region right here. Continues to advance to the south and east. But look at this pressure gradient setting up behind it, between that incoming Canadian high pressure that has dropped all the way into Iowa by Saturday evening, and that departing strong upper level low over Maine. This is a very intense pressure gradient on the backside of that front. So watch out in the hour or two behind the passage of the front, potential damaging wind gusts from a west to northwest direction. Let's go out a little farther in time. Here we go by late Saturday night. Look at this pressure gradient here. That could cause some damaging wind gusts, result in some damaging wind gusts. Going into Sunday morning, a much different day temperature-wise in the mid-Atlantic in the northeast U.S. Again, some 20 degrees colder on Sunday compared to Saturday behind that frontal system. So a lot going on. It's still an active weather pattern. California gets hit today in a severe weather outbreak, likely, unfortunately, for the Mississippi Valley region, with a focus on Arkansas up to Iowa, right along the Mississippi River, Friday night going into the early morning hours on Saturday. Watch out for the potential damaging wind gusts throughout the Mississippi Valley, the Tennessee Valley, the Ohio Valley, and all the way into the eastern U.S. from late Friday into late in the day on Saturday night. Even behind that frontal system, watch out for the potential for damaging wind gusts. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.